So it's about 5:40 a.m. March 18th, I believe. I look like this because I've been crying pretty much for the last day and a half. I'm just trying to figure out an outlet now at this point. Usually one of my outlets is writing, but I just don't have the energy to do that right now. And I feel like right now I'm having the most rawest emotions to the point that I can't even control them. So that's why my eyes look like this. And just kind of trying to figure it out. So I decided that as I was laying here, my daughter got up. Well, I got up after passing out around maybe about 11:30ish. I left work early today, because like I said, for the last day and a half, actually for the last year, just like a lot of people, I've been having like a very rough 2020. Had some things, very tragic and traumatizing things happen in 2020, just like a lot of people, with the whole pandemic going on and quarantine and losing people. I mean, I guess really what some would consider everyday life stuff. But to me, it was different because I've never lost somebody so close to me ever before. I mean, I've lost people or whatever, but I've never lost like somebody in my direct circle. So, I had already suffered a loss earlier in the year with the pregnancy, and a few months later, September 2020, my sister passed away in my home where I am now. And that was a very, very, like I said, traumatizing experience for me. For one, like I said, I never lost somebody so close to me, and just the way that it happened, I had went to work earlier that day. Actually, we're gonna start with the morning. She got up and went and bought herself a new vehicle, and she was very excited about it. So she came back to the house. She was staying with me at the time to show us her Jeep. She had bought a Jeep Compass, and she was like really excited. So me and the girls went out there, got in the Jeep. We were excited for her. Got chased in the house by a bee. I left her and the kids out there. They were in the Jeep with her, but I came in the house. So they were out there for a minute. Like I said, I had to get ready for work. Went to work that day. I don't really remember how the day went. I know when I got off, I was kind of over it. I had just went back to my job, actually, and I was only there for about a week at that point in time. And so when I came home, before I got home, I had picked the girls up. So we stopped and got something to eat. I texted my sister, or maybe called her, or maybe she called me. I can't remember right at the moment. But I know she was, still excited, beaming with happiness and glee about, her day. Like, she had a good day. Like, she just purchased her, there was a truck or whatever. That was a huge accomplishment for her, considering everything that, she was going through at the time or whatever. So it was a really good day for her. So she called me like, can you let me know when you're close to home or get home so I can let you into the driveway or whatever, because I don't want to park on the street. She didn't want anyone, of course, to hit her car. So I'm like, okay. Asked her, did she want anything to eat? She didn't. Got home, she let me into the driveway. And she's messing with the kids, before we can get out the car. Come in the house, get me and the kids ready for bed. It's about 12, a little after 12 at this point. I remember eating my food. She had this bonnet on. This is her bonnet. She had this bonnet on. My oldest daughter was in the living room with her. I was like really tired, so I had walked out the kitchen. Kitchen is that way. She was sleeping here on this couch, on this end. My daughter was sitting in front of me on the ottoman, eating her food or whatever before she went to bed. So I thought the kitchen like, all right, good night, niggas. Like, you know, not thinking that the night would take a turn for the worse, but yeah, I went and laid down. I remember getting on Facebook for a minute. I had made a status or whatever because I was feeling some kind of way about having to drag my kids out in the middle of the night. You know, after getting off of work, having to pick them up. That's another story for another day. Maybe it's not. I don't know how I'm feeling. I just, like I said, this is a spur of the moment type vlog thing. We'll see where it goes. If I continue with it or not. I just want to get my emotions off or whatever. So yeah, went to sleep. Got woke up around 3:35, 3:36 by my sister. She came into my room, asked me to call 911 because she couldn't breathe. So I wake up. I'm calm at first, you know, because she's not panicking, so I'm not panicking, you know. I'm just like, okay, get up, call 911. She goes into my bathroom, turn the shower on, the hot water only, you know, I guess to get the steam to kind of try to help her breathe or whatever. By this time, I get up, I go into the bathroom, and now that I'm looking back on it, like, she is now starting to panic a little bit. So, like, I'm trying to stay calm to keep her calm. Like, you know, just after that, everything just kind of, you know, she ended up kind of bumping against the wall, but, you know, fell against the wall, whatever, slid down the wall. I'm not gonna really go into detail about that, but, you know, I tried to perform CPR on her as I'm on the phone with the operator or whatever. She's telling me what to do. By this time, you know, stuff's coming out my sister's mouth. Her eyes had already rolled into the back of her head, and I'm just like crying and panicking and trying to perform CPR and just talk to the lady at the same time. Had to run out here, you know, she called the ambulance. I had to run out here, unlock the door so when they came, they could get in. By this time, my sister is no longer breathing. So, I don't remember how long it took for them to get here or whatever. She came out, or when they came, cause my bathroom is pretty small or whatever, they had to drag her from my bathroom to my living room floor, and they tried to resuscitate her. Ended up calling my grandma. So I really am not good in those type of situations, so she kind of didn't help. Like, you know, at this point, you know, she's like panicking, trying to figure out what's going on or whatever, which is understandable. My kids luckily didn't wake up during the whole ordeal. You know, they weren't able to resuscitate her or whatever. So she had was laying on my living room floor for a while. Her body was just laying there. My brother ended up coming over and sitting with me or whatever. And then my grandma came, my other brother came, my youngest sister came with her kids, but with the baby. She has 2 kids. She just had a baby. She'll be 1 in July. My sister got to see her days before she passed away. And when we went over there, you know, she told her, like, her life was complete after, you know, seeing the baby and holding her or whatever. It's like, just didn't know how true that statement would be. So today, I just been kind of dealing with that all day. Because, like, I didn't really, I don't think I really ever processed or dealt with her death. So I think it's why it's hitting me like this, the way it has been all day since like last night. Not last night, the night before last or whatever. Because I don't think I really dealt with it, whatever. At first, you know, when she first passed, did a lot of drinking. That was starting to make me sick, so I couldn't really drink anymore. Smoking. I'm not supposed to do that, but I did a whole lot of that for about a month after she passed. And I was just really trying to numb the pain, the experience. Just didn't want to feel what I was feeling then and what I'm feeling now. So I just kind of checked out, for the lack of a better term. I checked out or whatever. I was still trying to like function enough to take care of my kids, make sure my kids was good. But as far as like work and everything, I was calling off all the time. I ended up losing my job actually after a while. Like I would try to get up and go, but then I would like leave because I couldn't, you know, like all I really wanted to do was get high and watch Nipsey Hussle interviews. That's all I did, like that whole time. So I didn't really want to be around nobody. I didn't really want to do nothing. Just didn't. So it got to the point where the weed was actually starting to bother me. So I stopped smoking against my will. I stopped smoking or whatever. Tried to get my mental back together. I had a birthday coming up by this time. And I had to actually, considering everything, I had a pretty good 35th birthday. All my siblings came, with the exception of one, out to eat. We went to Zep Zone. We had fun, you know, with the kids and everything. A few of my friends, a few other family members. So after that, I ended up meeting up with, I guess meeting him in person for the first time. This guy that I was dealing with or whatever, recently, currently, or I don't know what the situation is, but ended up linking up with him for the first time, and we talked on and off via social media for about 3 years, a little over 3 years. But that was like our first time actually, like, a few days after my birthday, like linking up. So with him, I was able to use him as a distraction from, you know, what I was feeling. And like my sister's dad, like when she passed, I was dealing with somebody, but that was already like, before she even passed, like that was already like deteriorating or whatever, because it was just a bad situation that should have never happened anyway. But I stopped dealing with him because, you know, when my sister passed away, he wasn't there for me. I feel like how he should have been. Like he felt like he was, but he wasn't. Like I said, everybody deal with death differently. He's lost people close to him before. I never have. So I guess how he deal with death, or whomever else deal with death, but since we're talking about him, how he deal with death, I guess he felt like that's how I should have dealt with it or whatever, but it's not. So, you know, then it got to the point where he was just kind of doing things to purposely irritate me, trying to get under my skin, because he was in his feelings about however our situation had went, and it was just bad. So after that, I was just like, you know, slowly but surely ended that situation. And like I said, with the new guy, he's not new now at this point, but at the time, you know, he was kind of, well, I guess he wasn't really too new then, but whatever. But yeah, was using him as a distraction from, you know, the situation with my sister or whatever. It kind of got messy, because going into it, I really, like, I'm weird. I am. People tell me that all the time. It's not like I try to be weird. It's just, I really am, like, that true indecisive Libra. So it's like I want somebody, but it's a certain kind of somebody that I want. I don't want just anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, the man that ends up getting me is going to have to be extremely, extremely patient, and he's gonna have to really want me, and be excellent at showing it, because I nitpick and I will find any little thing. And even if I like you, like, I'll push you away and I'll just do all kind of stuff because I'm like really guarded. Like, I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot with my kids' dads, you know. Sorry, my lashes are falling out. I've been through a lot with them. I've been through a lot with my parents. So, like, everybody that is close to me, or I try to let close to me, ended up hurt. Oh gosh, I could see it, but I can't. Ended up hurting me in a way that, you know, was like kind of like make it hard to easily let people in. Like, I'll mess with you, deal with you, or whatever, but like how I'm being raw about everything right now, like, it's hard for me to just sit back and do that with somebody one-on-one, unless like we here at this point. Like, my energy has to be there. Like, I go where my energy flow. Like, right now I'm very vocal about how I'm feeling, because I'm a firm believer in feel it to heal it. Like, and for the past few months, like I said, since about September, since my sister passed away, I feel like I've been running from my feelings. And so since the situation with the new guy seems like it's coming to an end, I no longer have that distraction to keep me from like running from my feelings. So I just kind of ran right into them, because now I have, you know what I'm saying, however I feel about that situation on top of everything else. So it's no longer a distraction. It's kind of like, yeah, now you got to deal with all of that. So all of that hit me all at once. Also on top of that, you know, is I've had situation after situation. I think every month since my sister passed away, I've dealt with a major issue. And although at the time, you know, like, I recovered from them pretty quickly, it's just all like still some things that are kind of ongoing. So, and I don't know how to fix them. And one mainly being the situation with my youngest daughter's dad. So, I'm sorry, I don't have any tissue. I'm just wiping. So, I would say we have a strained relationship, but at this point, we don't have a relationship at all. Oh, this is another story. Oh, it's just a whole nother story too. I don't like the guy. At one point, I felt pretty deeply for him until I really found out who he is. And he's just not a likable person. Not even just for what he did to me, but now it's more so how he's doing my daughter. Like, now I could care less how he feel about me or whatever the case may be. Like, whatever. I don't have any feelings either way about it. You know what I'm saying? Him feeling whatever way he feel about me. It's just how he does her that it drives me nuts. So I'm not going to go into great detail, but at this point, I'm just trying to figure out, as a mom, as her mom, how to best deal with that situation. Because me personally, I would rather for him to, honestly, I would rather for him to get himself together and be the father that she deserves. I really want that. I tried to manifest that. I'm in this manifestation group where they do the 3-6-9 method. I've tried that a time or two. I don't know. I tried giving the situation a guy. I tried being cordial with him. I feel like I've tried everything, but at the end of the day, you can't make nobody be a parent, a father, a mother. It just has to be something that person wants to do. And it's to the point now where, you know, he just don't want to do it, which is crazy because he asked for her. And then, like, when I got pregnant, he switched it up so many times. Like, so many times. It's crazy. Like, But it's just, yeah, like he has other kids that he seems to be pretty involved with. It's just her, you know. He just does her really, really wrong. And so, like I said, it's always a thing of, you know, now, well, he actually went about 4 months. Well, I guess we won't count March because he's seen her. I guess he started back getting her. So he went about 3 months without seeing her, talking to her, anything. Until one day, his dad ended up reaching out to me via text message saying they want to get her, which was fine with me because, like, I'm not the type of parent, like, I'm not bitter. You know what I'm saying? No matter what happens, I'm not bitter. I want the best for my kids. I don't know how nobody else feel, but I want them to feel whatever love they're going to get, because in a world so cold, like, all the love they can get, I want them to feel it. But I need it to be genuine love, you know? Like, I don't, whatever. I have my own feelings about that. But they asked to get her. I said, yeah, you know. My only thing with that was they kind of like assumed that I was supposed to drop off and pick up. Like, no, those days are over. Not to like put them on blast or down talk them or whatever, but they don't really, they're not the kind of grandparents that I would have originally picked for my kid. Like, my oldest daughter has great grandparents. She has her dad's side, her dad, but his parents and her siblings and everybody else, they're very hands-on with her. So I want that for my youngest as well, but she doesn't get that. She's kind of like an afterthought, I feel, when it comes to them. All of them, not even just her dad, but them too. So, you know, they're like, drop off time, pick up time this time. Like, so y'all want me to drop her off and pick her up? No, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I'll take her to my grandmother's house, because at this point I don't want to deal with them either. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. Like, I just would rather not, you know, because I don't want to fake how I feel. Like, I can't. Like, when it comes to my kid, like, I can't, you know. So I told him, you know, and plus I was going to be at work at that time anyway. So I told him, like, you know, she'll be at my grandma's at this time. Y'all can pick her up and drop her off as you please. I have no problem with that, you know. So that was that. You know, they got her or whatever. And she was pretty happy that first time because, you know, she missed them. Like, she loves them. She just turned 4 on March 7th. So she don't understand, like, why she don't get to see her little brother. His name is, well, he's not my child, so I'm not gonna put his name out there. But her little brother, she always talk about him. She was excited to see him. She was excited to see her dad. It's just, I hate the way her dad treats her. You know, he just kind of like blasé when it comes to her. Even when she FaceTimes him, and like, I can hear the conversation. Like, I don't try to be in. Like, I try to go away and give her moment, her time to talk to him or whatever. She always end up, you know, following me around or is next to me. She's a little shadow. So anyway, she just the way he talks to her, like, there's really no excitement there. There's really no enthusiasm. Like, it's your whole kid. Like, you just kind of like, whatever, an afterthought, you know. Like, I'm just doing this because maybe somebody mentioned that, oh, hey, you never said nothing about your kid in a while. Like, sure, you don't post her, which is fine. Like, don't do that, because now you're fronting because you're not the dad that you need to be posting her. So I don't know if you post her or not. I don't follow him on social media. Don't care to. It's just kind of irritating because, like, all this week and even before, but really all this week is all she's been saying. Well, actually, since her birthday, I miss my daddy. I miss my daddy. So I'm like, okay, you want to call him? You can call him. I'll give her my phone to FaceTime him. Go about my business. They talk for whatever amount of time he has to give her. And, you know, that's that, you know. But she actually took my sister's death pretty hard. Like, she doesn't, like, break down crying or nothing like that like I do. But she'll randomly blurt out, like, I miss TT that passed away. TT up in heaven. I miss TT up there. A few weeks ago, she actually did have a meltdown about it. Was saying how she didn't trust nobody but me. She don't trust God. She didn't know her big sister. It was just, she was at her nana's house when this happened. I was supposed to have been at work, but they had me scheduled off for that day, so it was kind of cool because I wasn't having the best day that day either. It wasn't as bad as these last few days, but it wasn't like the best. So I just did a little retail therapy, you know. Went to Target, got a new bedspread, came home, fixed my room up. And I was gonna eat and sit down for a minute before I went to pick them up. And I got that text about my daughter and, you know, the meltdown or whatever. So I went to get them or whatever. On the way there, I texted her grandmother because she was just over there that weekend. And so I was asking her, you know, did she have a meltdown or whatever over there? Or was she talking about my sister? And I was trying to explain to her what was going on. She was kind of like nonchalant about it or whatever. And then afterwards, I guess she thought about it, like, well, keep me updated. I didn't keep her updated. She didn't ask, so. Yeah. Ended up getting into it with her dad probably a few days before her birthday. Because like I said, I don't ask either one of my kids' fathers for nothing. And when I do, when I say it's nothing compared to what they do and should be doing, it's nothing. So my oldest daughter's dad, well, we're not even going to talk about him because it's just really a non-factor. So, like, because I've never really needed either of them for anything for real. Like, not even trying to, like, big myself up, but, like, I just do what I have to do for me and my kids because I know that nobody else is. So, I just do it. But, yeah, when it came to baby's birthday coming around, I did text him the first time and told him I needed $400. Now, let's be clear. Neither one of them are on child support. I don't bother them otherwise for anything. Me and baby's dad did, have an arrangement where he was helping with the sitter before quarantine happened. But he was only sending, what, $36 a week. And even that was a struggle to get. Like, I had to hound him. I don't even think it was $36. Honestly, I think it was $32.50. That's what he said he was going to pay to go half on the sitter for the week. This is so comical. Now that I'm looking back at it, like, it's not comical, like, haha. It's just like, okay, like, guys would kill to have that situation where the mother of their child is not saying, hey, I'm about to take you down here and put you on child support. She's simply saying, hey, do what you can. Just help, you know? Just be there for your kid. Like, I'm not trying to break your pockets. I know you still got to live. You're on child support for all those other kids that you have. So I'm the only one that doesn't have him on child support, and maybe that's foolish on my part, but I just don't fuck with the system. So I don't fuck with the system at all. I don't like what they've done to not only families, but especially black families. I don't like it. So that's my own personal little thing I got going on. So that's why. But yeah, with that being said, like, do something, you know. And he feels like getting her every other weekend now, which he don't call to get her. Like I said, his parents call me to get her, which is fine because I prefer it that way. Actually, I prefer for nobody to call me, but text me, send me a text or whatever. But whatever, I would rather deal with them than him. So that works out perfectly fine up until he decides he wants to call and text me randomly anytime after 12 a.m. but not call his daughter at all. Like, he won't ring my phone at all for her, but you'll text me after 12 a.m. Little random stupid messages to try to fill me out to see if you can regain access to me. Like, no. And it's not because like he wants to be with me. I'm not saying that at all. Like, it's a narcissistic thing. It's a revolving door thing. Like, I guess at one point in time, I had him very comfortable with doing that. But, like, those days are done. Like, I'm going to be completely honest. This last pregnancy that I had, well, not back in 2020, was by him. He did that purposely. We sat and had a conversation about it the night before. And then we got up the next morning, you know, did whatever we did. And as a result of that, and his oops, you know, I ended up pregnant. And then it came out that he was dealing with not only his last baby mom, but another female that I had just found out about a few months ago, that, you know, apparently he was playing house with my daughter, and she took really good care of my daughter. So, and me and her ended up having like a pretty cool little relationship, briefly. Like, we don't have any drama or nothing like that. But yeah, like, it was a whole mess. And then when that came out, that's when I found out. Like, a few days after that, I found out I was pregnant. And I was just really, really just like, really? Like, yeah, so ended up not going through with that pregnancy. And as a result, that really freaking broke me. So I think how I'm feeling now is how I felt after that pregnancy was ended. I was really angry. And like now, like, that's what I'm feeling is anger, and just more so anger than sadness. So I don't know if it's like all of that with the mixture of my sister's death and an incident I just had with my former hairdresser, making the whole front of my hair fall out. And now she and I have a court hearing. Actually, I had to end up filing a civil suit on her because she wasn't really trying to compensate me how I feel. All I asked her for was a wig, to make a wig, and she felt like that was doing too much. She wanted to eat the cost of treatment, whatever treatment that she planned on doing, which she should have been doing anyway, and that probably all could have been prevented, my hair falling out. I really need to go to bed, but this is my life. my life lately. And I'm not complaining. Because I be making Facebook posts saying, you know, about what I'm going through, and at the end of it I'm saying, but I won't complain. And I'm not complaining, I'm more so venting, but people be confused by venting and complaining. That's probably just because they don't understand the difference, or they don't know me personally to know that, like, it's not really much that I really do complain about, for real. Like, I do complain, but I get over stuff really quick and really easily. And I don't know if I'm really getting over these things at this point, or if I'm just pushing them to the back of my mind. And this is why I'm here again. So, I don't know. I know the healing process is a long process. And with everything that I have been through in my life, I know it is going to be a real freaking journey. So, the purpose of this whole almost 35 minute video is because I'm thinking about starting a vlog. And I just came to that conclusion as I was laying on that end of the couch with my daughter, my 4-year-old. We were in the bed. Like I said, I woke up first because I was thirsty. So I woke up to get something to drink. Got something to drink, laid down, got sleepy again, was getting ready to fall asleep. She woke me up talking about she had a crab on her head, but it was just a dream. So I thought that was cute. She laid back down, snuggled up with me, laid back down. And then she said she was hungry. And I'm like, well, let's just go back to sleep and we'll get up in a little bit and fix you something to eat. Because at this point now I'm sleepy. I'm ready to go back to bed. But she like started whining like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm like, okay, you want a waffle? Which I knew she didn't really want. Like, she really could have went back to sleep and waited a few more hours because we got to get up in a minute and get my oldest off to school. So yeah, today's probably going to be a very long, draining day. But hopefully I can stay at work today. I had to leave yesterday because I kept breaking down. Got up, fixed her the waffle. Sat on the couch for a minute because she was going to eat out here. Excuse me. She decided that she didn't really want the waffle, so we're cuddling up on the couch, and I'm trying not to get frustrated because at this point, like, I laugh about everything. Like, don't just because I'm laughing don't mean like it's, I'm fine. Everything funny. I don't know. That's just my way of dealing with stuff. Now, I'll be trying to find like humor and whatever happiness I can out of the positive and the negative. That's what I'll be trying to do. But anyway, so at this point, I'm getting kind of agitated. I'm not gonna lie. Parenting is not a breeze at all, especially single parenting, solely caring for your kids. Like, you get agitated. If you're honest with yourself, you get agitated pretty quickly, whether you act on it or not. I did not try to act on it, so I'm just trying to get her, as tired as I am, to eat her waffle so we can go back to bed. She says she has to use the restroom, so I'm like, okay. Now, mind you, she knows how to turn on the light in the bathroom and turn it off, but she decided that she doesn't tonight, this morning, whatever. Can you turn the bathroom light on? Okay, get up, turn the bathroom light on. She goes in there to use the restroom. I'm done. She knows how to properly wipe herself. Like, she just, I don't know, like, if I was just agitated or she was just doing this to agitate me, or I don't know. At this point, I'm agitated. I'm very agitated, so I'm like, she wiped herself, whatever. She asked me to turn the light off. I'm like, you know how to turn the light off. Stop acting helpless. So she get the wine in or whatever. Like, I can. I'm like, okay, just leave it. Just leave it. Come eat your waffle or whatever. You know, she does everything she needs to do in the bathroom or whatever and come out, eats her waffle. By this time, tears are coming down my face because I'm like, every little thing is triggering me at this time. So talking about it right now is even helping me to feel a little better. Like, I want to cry, but it's helping me. So I guess, like, as I'm talking about it, I can kind of feel everything come up off of me. So I go in the bathroom. I just, I use the restroom. And then after that, I just kind of like start cleaning up the bathroom. And so she comes in there and she just like really looked at me, like, I guess because it was dark in here or whatever at first. I guess she like just really looked at me and she just seen my eyes and everything, or maybe she felt because my kids are very in tune with me. And she might have felt my energy or whatever and was probably looking at me like, it's dark outside, what are you doing cleaning up the bathroom? So she just looking like, she said something, it was the cutest thing, but I can't remember at the time. But it was just a look in her eye, like she was just very compassionate. Like, it was a very compassionate look in her eyes. She was looking at me, and then she had like this little soft tone in her voice. And she like, you just clean my waffle. I can help you do that. You know, just kind of like reassuring in a way. And I'm like, okay, you ate your waffle or whatever. You know, finished cleaning up the little stuff I came in here. She ate a waffle, took her back to the room. And that's when, I'm saying, I decided I wanted to do this video. She's in there watching TV now in my room. And she's just being a sweet little angel. I asked her to stay in there so I could figure out my thoughts. Like, I don't like crying in front of my kids because, you know, you always feel like you have to be strong and wear this face because you don't want them to be upset and, you know, see you broken. But I think that's a very flawed technique, actually, because to a certain degree, I feel like your kids need to see you being human. You know what I'm saying? For them, in order for them to understand their emotions better and what they're feeling, even how to deal with it. Like, you have to lead by example. Like, I can see if I was out here just spazzing, like, blah, 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 blah. Which, I'm not gonna lie, my kids have seen me do that before. So, I'm trying to prevent it from whatever I'm feeling from getting to that point again. I feel like it's important. Like, I don't, of course, naturally, I don't like crying in front of anybody, especially them. But if, like today, my emotions were very uncontrollable. My tears were uncontrollable. And I just let it out, you know. Like, even before I got to them, my eyes was, like, really red when I left work. Because, like I said, I was having, like, breakdowns at work, like, going into the bathroom, like, literally heaving, crying, dry, like, bawling my eyes out or whatever. So I just really couldn't stay at work. Like, it was a lot of things triggering me there. So, when I went to pick them up, my oldest daughter was at my grandma's house or whatever. They both were at my grandma's house with my little cousin or whatever. But my little cousin and the baby were gone. They were at the park. And my oldest daughter had came back. When she seen me, she looked at me, you know. I was just kind of like, not talkative, and that's really not me. Unless something that's wrong. I wasn't talkative. I wasn't my normal goofy self. Even my grandma, later, yesterday evening when I got home, called me and asked was I all right, how I was feeling or whatever. And I just simply told her I had a headache, which was half of the truth. Like, I really didn't have a headache. It was just really, didn't know how to put my feelings into words. Because I really don't like expressing my feelings to people. Because I don't want nobody to be thinking like, oh, she's just doing this for attention. Or, because I've had that happen, like a lot of us. She's just doing this for attention. And, like, people think you're supposed to be silent about your pain and private. Like, that's not healthy. It's not healthy. Like, I should probably talk to, like, I don't want to let everybody know. Because, like, some people genuinely don't give a fuck. Like, let's be real. They don't. Some people are happy to see you going through certain things. For real. And some people genuinely care. But, like, whatever I feel or I'm feeling, if it's too much, I have to get it off me. And however I do that, like, if it bothers you, if I do it on social media, delete me. It's simple. You don't want to see it. You don't want to hear it. Unfollow me, delete me, block me, whatever you got to do to protect your peace. But if this is what I want to do at the time, and I feel like it's my only outlet at the time, because a lot of times I don't feel like sitting down and writing. Like, now this has become an outlet, me just doing a video and talking about it or whatever. Like, it's making me feel better. So it shouldn't bother nobody else, because I'm not bothering y'all. Y'all don't have to tune in. Y'all don't have to listen. I might not even post this. Like, who knows? I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I just want to let people know, like, it's not really, it's not, you're not considered weak for being vocal about your feelings and how you feeling, especially, like, when it gets to the point where it's affecting your mental and your everyday life. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said earlier, like, I was like, I left work or whatever. My daughter looked at me, and she could tell, you know what I'm saying, something was wrong. She, like, asked me questions. She's like, well, are you tired? I'm like, yeah, I'm tired. You know, just tired or whatever. So, kind of had to have a little talk with her so I wouldn't spaz on her, you know, because she does this thing, like, she's about to be 10 in November, but she likes doing this little whining thing, and I'm not gonna lie, it annoys my soul, like, so bad. So I had to talk to her about that, like, you know, I'm already not having a good day. I just told you that, you know, at the end of the day, I'm your mom, but I'm still human too. And for me to come home and say, hey, I'm gonna get off work early, go home, cook my kids one of their favorite meals, and just sit back and watch a movie with them, you know, just to try to make myself feel better. And because I know that would make them feel good, you know, because I work a lot, like, they be missing me or whatever. And, like, when I'm not working, we just be all over the place, you know. We rarely have time to just sit at home and chill with each other. I mean, we do, but like we rarely do it, you know. So that was the plan. But by the time I picked them up and went to the grocery store, it was almost 9 o'clock. So I'm like, well, your bedtime is 10. And the other little one, she'll probably be asleep before that. So, and then by the time I finished cleaning up the kitchen to cook, which ended up not even being that much to do. So thank God for that. Dinner probably won't be done until about 10, 11. So, you know, she got to whining about that because she really wanted me to cook and she wanted to sit back and watch a movie. And I'm like, I do too, but like, you have to understand things are not going to always go your way. So just because I say, hey, we might not have time to do this tonight, I mean, we're not going to do it ever, you know? So just kind of check your feelings, like check your emotions as much as you can. Like, this is not something that to be completely upset about, as upset as she was, like whining and stuff. You know, I mean, like, you just gotta, even though you're feeling the way you feel, you gotta take other people's feelings into consideration too. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I already told you I was having a not so great day, and I don't want to get off of work and be having to hear no whining and fussing or nothing. Like, I don't want to do any of that. Like, I want to have a nice, relaxed evening, whether we get to watch the movie or not. So I did end up coming home, cooking, because I don't cook that often. And I haven't cooked that particular meal for them in a while. So, like, I want, because I'm feeling however I'm feeling. Like, I always want to make my kids feel good, regardless, you know. So, yeah, it was just kind of like a simple pleasure for me. Just to know, you know, I did something of service to somebody else. Like, I don't know. But, yeah. So, ended up cooking. We didn't watch the movie, but we did sit down and eat together. She and I. The baby had fell asleep by this time. So, I don't know. Parenting is a job within itself. So, it's like I never really got off of work. I just left one job to go straight to the next. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's just, if I do a vlog, it's probably going to be about that. And I'm gonna be as raw and as honest, because I don't really deal in, you know, lies, like, for real. So I'm gonna be as raw and as honest as I possibly can. And if y'all not ready for that, it's gonna make you feel some kind of way, you know, I'm gonna stay clear of my vlog. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out everything right now. But whoever listens, thanks for tuning in, because I actually do feel a little better. Like, I don't feel like I want to cry right now. And trust me, these crying spells are pretty freaking vicious. Like, everything triggers me when it comes to my sister. And you just really don't know the impact or influence that a person has on your life until they are no longer here. And it's like, I regret all the moments that I took her for granted, honestly, because even when I was mad at her, you know, it's only certain things that she and I shared that, you know, she would appreciate and I would appreciate, like, such as, you know, certain videos or pictures or funny things my kids said. Anything that got to do with my kids, it was definitely something that, you know, she was in on. You know, my kids are my whole entire life. I won't say a huge part of my life, but they definitely are my whole entire life. And lately with that, I've been feeling like I haven't really been doing my best by them. But like I said, it's just more so me just trying to find my way back, or maybe not even maybe I'm not meant to find my way back to me. Maybe I'm meant to, like, learn this new person and grow into this new person, because whoever I was before 2020 happened, we're gonna say all of 2020, I am not her today. I am not like, I think that person, when we had my sister's funeral, we had a funeral for her too. And probably so, because I was high as hell at my sister's funeral. So, that's about it. That's about it.